Hello, everybody. Can everybody hear me? We have Haas. Hi, Lady Debbie. Hello, Flawless. Dave. I saw Cloudy here too. How you guys doing? Welcome in, everybody. I'm Somi. Hello. I can't go too far. You here? Good stuff. Okay, everything is different right now, not the way you used to looking at. But today is going to be a really great day, guys. Today we're talking about something that most people don't think about, but it actually impacts our mood, our energy, and your immune system, and even your mental health. And that's your gut microbiome. Inside your gut, there are trillions of microorganisms, mostly bacteria, that form a living ecosystem. And in this ecosystem doesn't just help you digest food, it actually helps you regulate your brain and your emotions. So I'm really excited today because we're going to have a great conversation with Barbara, which is our guest, who is a holistic wellness advocate, mentor, and educated focused on helping people feel better in both their minds and their bodies through an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. She dives deep into the connection between the gut health and the nervous system and your mental well-being, and how all of that impacts how we feel day to day. And as a self-proclaimed foodie and trained holistic and culinary nutritionist, she's all about using real food, herbs, and simple science-backed approaches to support energy and overall health. Her work focuses on a lot of the gut-brain connection, how what we eat and how we live can influence your mood, our focus, and even our stress levels. What I really love about her approach is that it's practical and empowering. She helps people build sustainable habits that actually fit into your real life, combining nutrition with things like mindfulness, gratitude, and awareness. We all talk about this stuff here too, right? So she's also an Ayurvedic yoga teacher, Reiki certified practitioner. So she brings in breath work, movement, meditation, and tools to regulate stress and support the nervous system. After 15 years in tech and entertainment industry, a cancer diagnosis shifted path towards wellness and prevention. And now she's helping others take control of their health in a way that feels grounded and doable. And to start, I'm going to show a little video that we made this past Thursday. We had a beautiful day in the sun, and we videoed a little introduction video for her. So I hope you enjoy. Oh, I have to mute us first. Hold on.
I used to come down here with my friends all the time because I lived just up and around the corner. So we used to just run down here, sit under the sun, swim and splash in the water. And every year that I was away from the island, when I was working away, I always made time to come back to this place because the magic just never ceases to amaze me. I'm so blessed. Spend hours down here just exploring and climbing around and spending time with the trees. Yeah, this place always brings a smile to my face. So growing up here, I realized after years of traveling how lucky I was to be here, because nature was such a big part of what life was about. And when I started really studying what holistic health means, nature just becomes part of that holistic healing that has so much to offer. I think when we take time to stop and learn to pause, to listen, and to be in silence, I think that's very rare these days. I think that's a real skill, and it's a very valuable skill. When I was in the film and video game industry, life was busy. You know, it is a busy lifestyle. And so it's easy to fall out of that. It's really easy to fall out of that. And the health challenges that I went through actually were such a gift in guiding me back. love about what I do now is what I like to call the ripple effect. Having that impact on somebody's life, even if it's just bringing them a smile. It's kind of like the pay it forward concept, you know. I do believe that if one person smiles, then another person will smile back, and then they'll be more apt to smile at somebody else, and then it just ripples out from there. And I think we need more smiling in this world, you know? I don't think we're meant to do this life alone. I really don't. And science has shown even, we need each other, you know? That is such an important part of being human. So I left this island and began a career in visual effects. I was working on all kinds of projects with all kinds of teams of very talented people. And then one day, I was working at a studio in Vancouver, and I got a phone call from my doctor. I was living in the States at the time. And so she called me, and I remember on the other end of the line, she said the word carcinoma. And I kind of went into shock, actually. I knew what the word meant, but I went to Google anyway and double checked. And sure enough, she was talking about cancer. To be honest, it was, as you can imagine, one of the hardest times in my life. I kind of have this BC before cancer and AC after cancer timeline. And so I enrolled in a holistic nutrition program. I also specialized in functional gut microbiome health because the gut is basically the doorway to the rest of the body and the systems and organs, including brain health. And that's where I draw my focus, because after treatment, I was left with no energy and just an amazing amount of brain fog, you know? And that really isn't any fun. It really is no fun. So that's the one rule I had after finishing treatment, was anything that didn't bring me joy was not welcome in my life. And I was able to slowly rebuild and then start to help other people. And I found that I really, really enjoy doing that. It's just an amazing gift to be able to help somebody else on their path. When you have the tools and you use the tools, then, you know, life becomes a little bit smoother. I have this quote that I love, and it's actually by Reba McEntire. And I have to admit, I'm not a huge country music fan, but I have leaned into a little bit. But she has a quote that says, "In life, you need 3 things: a wishbone, a backbone, and a funny bone." And I really believe that that will get you through a lot of life situations. I was a born optimist, you know, and I used to think you couldn't teach that stuff, but, you know, I lost some of that joy and that spark, and I learned to get it back in different places. One of the things is travel, things that fill you with passion, right? The other one, big one, is dance. For me, music and dancing. You take me to a dance floor, they're like, game over. There's a quote that says, "You cannot control the ocean, but you can learn to surf." Oh,
Oh yeah, I muted.
there
I
we
muted
go.
for the video because we were chatting while the video was playing.
And should I be looking?
Any
Should I be
sound? Can you
looking?
hear it now? All good?
Hello, hello.
That's the camera right there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good? Everything's good now. Yeah, I muted for the video. So welcome in, guys. Welcome, Barbara, today.
Hello, everybody.
Thank you so much for
Happy
being
to be
here and
here. Yeah,
sharing a little bit of your life story. And
Thank you for the invitation.
of course,
Yeah.
yeah. So
It's always so good to talk to you anyway.
it is always
Yeah.
fun. Always a pleasure, 100%.
We always have fun.
Always. You like the new setup? Thank you, Flawless. Hello, happy Monday, kiss. Hi, Barbara, says Haas. Welcome in, Barbara. Thanks for
Hi,
being
Haas.
here, says Cloudy. Nice. So, Barbara, I feel like a lot of us don't even realize how connected our bodies are. Can you share a little bit with us how you got into this and why you do this today?
Sure, yeah. Well, if you just watch the video, you'll have a little bit of an idea. Treatment left me really, really low on energy and with some mental health stuff that I actually wasn't aware of, you know. And so as I built myself back up, I wasn't getting my energy back actually. I went to my oncologist and I said, listen, it's been 6 months. Let's go. You know, like when am I getting my energy back? And he said, people do less treatment than you and it takes them longer than 2 years.
Wow.
And I was not okay with that. So I went looking for solutions. And so less than a year later, I was enrolled in a holistic nutrition program. And you know, by the end of that, I was thriving. I can truly say that I was thriving. I had a really, really great small group of people that I was, you know, in school with, and we would all try the different biohacks and things like that. This is when, like, you know, Dave Asprey was just starting to get big in his book Bulletproof. You know, when everybody was drinking bulletproof coffee and stuff like that. And yeah, it was. Just as I was writing my board exam, though, I was big on juices, fresh juices, and I had a green juice in my car, and I had left it in there in the August summer sun.
Oh.
And I came back in and I took a sip without thinking. And that night, I literally didn't think I was going to make it through. Like, I was, yeah, really sick.
Oh no.
Yeah. So basically, long story short, from then on, what I thought was radiation colitis was actually post-infection IBS.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that could be a thing, actually.
Yeah. There's all
interesting.
kinds of different types of IBS, and IBS is a big umbrella, and they kind of, oh, you have digestive issues. It's an, oh, you got IBS kind of thing. We don't have anything for you, you know. So I actually, that's how I ended up certifying in functional gut microbiome health, because I wanted to, you know, fix myself. But I was healing and sealing really well my gut lining, but not completely getting rid of these, thank you, these bugs. And so 3 years ago, I had no energy. Like, I couldn't take care of myself. It was really, really, really hard. And I realized it was these bugs that had built up something called biofilm in the intestines. And I wasn't able to absorb my nutrients. And, you know, that really does affect your mental health in all kinds of ways. You know, when you're searching for answers and you're kind of playing whack-a-mole, right? Have you ever been to those like the carnival or whatever, and then the moles come up and you're whack, 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 whack. You're just trying to, you know, figure out where the if you're unwinding like a ball of yarn, where the beginning of it is, right? And so I dove really deeply into detoxification and cleansing these last 3 years.
Perfect.
And yeah,
That's good.
Still getting out of it, but yeah.
Yeah.
But really, holistic health for me is being emotionally and mentally balanced, spiritually connected, and physically fit. So you have the energy to do what was that?
It's just, it's a thing. I can't turn it off.
Okay.
Oh, it's flawless. Thank you for gifting Grandmaster Ong a sub. Appreciate that. Thank you. And welcome in whoever is stopping by today and that wasn't here from the start. Where we have our guest Barbara Busch here today talking about Food equals medicine, 100% kiss.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
right. You got that right. So, yeah, so most of people don't link gut health to mental health at all, right? Can you break down a little simple way for us, a simple way that we can understand a little bit?
Absolutely. Well, you may have heard the saying Hippocrates said this back in 400 BC. So it was a little while ago, right? He said, all disease begins in the gut. All disease. Dis-ease is really just an imbalance in the body. Dis-ease, right?
Yep.
We don't have ease.
Bruce Lipton talk about that a lot.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, good. Yeah. So really, somewhere along the way, we kind of forgot this. If you don't know, Hippocrates is considered the father of medicine. He was a Greek physician, basically. And so, by the way, I have some little cheat notes here that I might be glancing at because there's a lot to say on the brain and the gut. It's so complex, but when you actually think about your body as this system that talks to itself, and that's basically what the gut does to the brain and the brain does to the gut. It's a two-way highway that is constantly happening, like 24/7, even when we're sleeping. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So, I mean, I have clients come to see me saying, well, I don't have gut health problems. And so I look at what they're dealing with and I'm going, interesting. Because most people think, oh, if I have gut health issues, it's I'm bloated or I have diarrhea or constipation or things like this. And no, it could be something like anxiety or brain fog or even insulin resistance. Actually, yes. And so we
Yes.
are what we digest, absorb, and are able to eliminate, right? That contributes to our toxic load.
100%. Have you guys ever felt like that? Brain fog, low mood, random anxiety popping up here and there.
Fatigue.
Fatigue. Yes, 100%.
So really, it begins with digestion. And what we're talking about is actually, I'm curious if anybody.
Flawless has that. He's saying.
Yeah.
He has insulin resistance.
Insulin resistance.
Yeah, brain fog's a big one for a lot of people. 100% kiss. Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody know where digestion actually begins? Want to take a guess?
Let's go.
Does anybody have a guess?
The mouth, exactly. Yeah, we got it, kiss. The mouth.
Actually.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I'm assuming that everybody knows what a lemon is. Yes? Okay. So if we were to all close our eyes right now and picture a lemon, a bright yellow lemon, and picture it, how does it feel, the texture in your hands? And then if you were to carefully slice that lemon open and smell it, do you know what the lemon smells like? And then if you were to actually taste the flesh of the lemon, picture yourself actually taking a big old bite. And if you can tell me what's happening in your mouth right now, you might find you've got some extra saliva in there. So really, digestion begins in the brain. Okay? So when I like to say, and this is kind of a yogic philosophy, digesting life. We digest our life through our five senses, right? It's our external world and how we take everything in. And it's feeding information to the brain. So what we smell, what we see, what we listen to, it affects the brain and our digestion and how our cells really digest as well and communicate with each other because they're constantly communicating. And that's what neurotransmitters are, right? Lots of them are made in the gut. And those are basically just chemical messengers. I like to say that we're like a big chemistry set, basically. A very, very bio-individual chemistry set, but at the same time, yeah.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about energy, burnout, and brain fog specifically because I know a lot of us here are tired, like actually tired, exhausted, having all this, life is hard. So how can you tell the difference between burnout and something physical going on in your body?
That's a good one. Yeah. Um, well, I would say when it comes to fatigue, actually, when it comes to anything, you want to, going back to the whole whack a mole thing, you want to get to what we call the root cause.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's rarely one thing. So it's rarely one solution.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, awareness, everything starts with awareness. Okay? So that pause, like I was saying in the video, the pause is everything. And noticing, right? And so that's why meditation is such a useful tool. And so when we are bringing that awareness, we can kind of start to investigate. And that's sort of my job as a holistic health mentor and coach.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I look at the different puzzle pieces and try to get a big picture idea so that we can create a roadmap that's streamlined to provide, strategies and solutions. And so fatigue could be anything from, oh goodness, nutrient deficiencies. Maybe there are bacteria or parasites living off the body. Um, Brain fog, of course, is something, but
Mm-hmm.
why is the brain fog happening? So when we've got inflammation in the body, basically means we have stressors.
Mm-hmm.
So stress can come from the brain to the gut or the gut to the brain. And that definitely contributes to brain fog.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I want to make a differentiation though between um, fatigue and burnout and freeze, because there's something called functional freeze. And this is something that I wasn't aware of, and I definitely was going through when I had iron deficiency anemia 3 years ago, because it affected my thyroid. Thyroid's big for energy and fatigue and things like that. It controls our metabolism, and so our thyroid and adrenals. Our adrenals are like our spark plugs, I like to say. Our kidneys are like our batteries, and our adrenals, which sit right on top, are our spark plugs.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you don't have this sort of communication loop happening
Mm-hmm.
between those, like the brain, it's called the HPA axis,
Mm-hmm.
the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. When this isn't regulated, things can really start to go off kilter,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So we really want to make sure that, you know, adrenal burnout and adrenal fatigue, which hasn't been recognized in the allopathic system for years and years, and I believe they're starting to really think more seriously about it. But functional freeze looks it's an overwhelm of the adrenal system. So you're not only fatigued, you may have like brain fog, low motivation. You may feel detached, like you're not able to really like, you know, find purpose or meaning as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a depression that comes along with it, and it's
Mm-hmm.
it's a hard place to be, definitely, especially
So.
when you don't recognize it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how do we tell? Sorry, no. What are some things people are doing right now that think they're helping their energy by be actually making it worse? Like, let's be honest, coffee. Like we all drink coffee, and
Coffee,
it helps.
caffeine is
And
one of the best drugs. It really is.
yes, 100%. Agreed.
Yes.
I've
The
been
other,
drinking coffee since I was 3.
oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that. Um, and to be honest, again, it's all about balance, right? If your adrenal system is functioning at a relatively balanced way, meaning, and balance means, you are able to deal with daily stressors. Maybe things may heighten for a little bit, but you're able to recover quickly. So this is the measure of how balanced you are. How quickly are you able to get back into baseline, right? And so someone who's already running on, say,
Mm-hmm.
adrenaline,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Like when I worked in the film and video game industry,
Mm-hmm.
we were at my at my busiest, I was working 75 to 85-hour weeks, and I was going to the gym 5 days a week and basically just sleeping and eating other than that, right? And so I was running on adrenaline.
Oh.
And the thing about caffeine, adrenaline, and especially sugar
Big
is
one.
that it's addictive.
Mm-hmm.
It works on the same gut-brain pathways. In fact, sugar works on the same gut-brain pathways as cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
It's more addictive than cocaine, they say. Some people say.
That's why I avoid giving any sugar.
Yeah, well, and it depends on what type of sugar, right? Like you have people out there going, oh yeah, carrots are high in sugar. It's like, yes, okay, if you're to put it next to, say, I don't know, a piece of broccoli, right?
Yes.
Which has more calcium, a cup of broccoli has more calcium than, say, a cup of milk, dairy milk. But, you know, it's all relative is what I'm trying to say. So, I mean, a cup of coffee, if you're balanced, you know, you want to wait an hour if you listen to Andrew Huberman at all.
Yeah,
right?
I love Andrew Huberman. I play you Andrew Huberman for them about the circadian rhythm and other things too. Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you wait an hour, you can actually really maximize the impact of coffee. But it has a half-life of, I believe it's 6 to 8 hours. So if you drink a cup of coffee at 2 o'clock, right, you're going to be feeling the effects of it, half of that, at 10 p.m. How much melatonin do you think is going to help you out to sleep at that point? You know?
Yes.
So there's this whole, like you said, circadian rhythm kind of thing. And I mean, again, we need to live with joy. A lot of people get joy from coffee.
I do.
Really, yes. I mean, come on, all the coffee cups out there and all the T-shirts.
I do wait an hour and a half after I wake up to have my coffee, and I have kefir first.
There you go.
And my pumpkin seed oil first as well, to just get my stomach going with the good stuff, and then I will add the coffee into it after.
And that's what we call optimizing. And that's really, I mean, what I'm about. Like, if I'm going to do something, I want to get the max benefits with the least amount of effort, because we don't want to be spending all of our energy doing all of these things and then only like this much benefit, right? That's when I work with my clients too. That's exactly my focus. It's like, okay, so what are the small things that you can do that are going to give you the biggest rewards? You know? So TCM actually says about the adrenal kidney.
Oh.
So this is traditional Chinese medicine. The kidneys, we are born with basically the energy that's going to carry us throughout our life, and our kidneys hold that energy. So when our adrenals are fatigued, because they're right next to them or right on top of them, they actually draw energy from the kidneys because they don't have anything to go on. And so when you're in that state, it's kind of like, I drive a standard car, you know, so
I love standard cars.
I know, right? Yep. So if you're in sixth already, right, and you're driving down the highway and then you press that gas pedal in, that is okay. You're basically drinking a cup of coffee when you're in sixth gear. So again, balance, right? Yeah.
100%. So I wanted to talk a little bit about food and mood.
Yes, and going to that, can I give you my favorite little hack, I guess, I don't know. Or if you want to swap out your coffee for something, I am huge on dark chocolate.
Oh, yes.
So 100% cacao. I use that as heart medicine as well. I've done, you know, circles and things like that, but I drink it almost on the daily. And that's because it is one of the highest foods on the planet that has the most antioxidants. We call it an ORAC scale, ORAC.
It's a superfood.
Absolutely.
Dark
and so
chocolate.
For mental health, it actually increases blood flow in the brain. And it improves cognition and executive function. So executive function is that, you know, place in the front of the frontal lobes of your brain where you make all your decisions from. So when you're in an emotional state, right, your reptilian brain basically takes over, and it's back here. So we say, there is a saying I've heard that says, when emotions are high, intelligence is low. So we want to be increasing that brain flow to get that executive functioning going and calming the system.
Mm-hmm.
So creating that energy without the caffeine spikes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cacao is wonderful for that.
And now they make those the mushroom cacao drinks too to replace coffee, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so you were talking about food.
Mm-hmm.
What did you want to know specifically?
I wanted to know, like, how much does what we eat actually affects our mood, anxiety, and like our focus, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, the body, you've heard we are what we eat. Well, these days we are what we eat and what our food eats. So when we're talking about any sort of brain dysregulation, it means we've got a toxic overload in the body. So that means that there's inflammatory stressors. Anything from physiological stressors, so we're talking GMOs to pesticides to food colorings, these kinds of things. That's actually really, really big, especially in children's health. They've found, in terms of autism and things like that, these red and yellow food colorings can really really have a big effect.
I do not allow food coloring for Vinny.
No,
Nope.
no. And in fact, there's some really good information in Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride's book, The GAPS Diet, GAPS.
Cool.
It's gut and psychology syndrome. So,
okay.
yeah. And so she actually reversed her own son's autism when he was small. And so this is one of the books that I studied when I was in nutrition school. So yeah, really, I mean, the brain feeds off of glucose, so we do need sugars, but as complex carbs, right? As our fruits and vegetables and things like that. And that's something that we just don't get enough of because they're not as convenient. It means we need to cook for ourselves. And that's something that I had to learn how to do when I was finished treatment because I was eating healthy, actually. People would say to me, "What do you mean you got diagnosed with cancer, but you're so healthy?" And
look at that luxurious hair you have.
yeah, it grew back. Yeah,
grew back. It looks beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, Teen to Bean is saying she keeps hearing about Ryzen coffee, but she's scared to try.
Ryzen?
Yeah.
Is that Rizen?
Yes, Ryzen coffee.
Yes, I've heard of it. I haven't tried it personally. I am a fan, though, of combining medicinal mushrooms with things like cacao or even coffee. I used to do that too. MCT.
Yeah, when I used to do my psilocybin chocolates for journeys and how do you say, not celebration, like for ceremony.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yep.
And we got this cacao from Venezuela. I would make the cacao with different doses for people to either microdose, take a little thing to microdose, and it's big. And the cacao from that area specifically of Venezuela is apparently to be have extra benefits. And it's delicious.
Yes,
it's
actually,
so good.
I've tried cacao from different parts of the world, Mexico actually as well, and it really depends on. It's kind of like wine. When you grow wine, it really depends on the terroir. So the soil quality and how much air is coming through the vines and things like that. What kind of rain is coming down and other things.
Sorry, I'm getting a raid.
Oh, cool.
Welcome in, Raiders. Thank you for the raid. Oh my gosh, I have so many first-time chatters on the raid here. Poise raid. Thank you for Poise. Oh my gosh. I'm not sure where you heard of me, but thank you so much for raiding me on this very special Mental Health Monday. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And guys, I'm Sushi Love. Welcome in. And this is my guest, Barabara Busch, and we're talking about gut health and mental health.
Hello.
Thank you so much. I'm going to get back into it because Mystery has actually a little question here. She said, is mushroom coffee safe to take for someone like myself who had thyroidectomy and takes
thyroxine?
Yeah.
To be quite honest with you, that's something that I would normally tell somebody to book in with a practitioner who can actually go through your history and your medicines, because there are contraindications to certain herbs. I'm not aware of any with medicinal mushrooms, but that said, I wouldn't want to give you a blanket statement. And there is a disclaimer here.
Yes, I actually forgot to put the disclaimer on.
Aha, yes.
Guys,
So,
I'm going to put the disclaimer on for a second if you guys can read. There you go, disclaimer. Before we begin, actually, we're already begun, but I'm going to let you guys know that I just want to share with you guys that I'm not a licensed medical professional, and neither is Barbara here, or a mental health expert. Everything we talk about during Mental Health Mondays come from my own research, personal experiences, and perspectives, as well as the thoughts and insights of any guests I have on. This space is meant to be supportive and open, informative, but it isn't a substitute for professional advice or care. If you're going through something or need deeper support, I truly encourage you to reach out to a qualified mental health professional. You deserve the support to be supported in the best way possible. Welcome back in.
amazing. Yes, yes. Yeah, as a holistic health coach, it does take some time to go through somebody's full picture. And so there is information out there, and you can do that research for yourself. The benefits of medicinal mushrooms on cognitive health are vastly studied and researched. They really, really, and a lot of them are anti-cancer too, which is another reason why I really like them.
Especially mixed with turmeric.
Exactly. So before we go into some of the foods that because I have 3 categories, mushrooms are one of them. I really want to understate the fact that you cannot underestimate the connection between the gut and the brain and the food that we eat. One of my mentors, if you can follow that,
Yeah, totally can.
told a story a couple of weeks ago, and I just thought it was so fascinating. This was years ago. He had he had sorry, I was distracted there by that. Yeah, he had a patient come in to see him, and the gentleman said, "Okay, I have a lovely life. I have a great job, a wonderful wife. I love where I live, and yet I have these thoughts of suicide." That's really serious. And so he went about his assessment and he did some things, and he said, "Well, I have no idea why you're having these thoughts, but I think you should try taking out tomatoes from your diet." So the guy cuts out tomatoes. Yeah, it's a nightshade. Suicidal thoughts go away.
Incredible, huh?
Amazing. And he added them back. Thoughts came back. Right?
Yeah, that's not for everybody. That's some people can't deal with the nightshade family of vegetables and fruits, right? So
exactly, this is very bio-individual. I mean, like he said, there may be nobody else on the planet like this, and that's sort of my point. Is it is so bio-individual. You need to do your own research and experimenting. Really,
get to know your body. Yeah, experimenting.
Yeah, you are your own expert.
You
you got to become they say the CEO of your health, right? But for that, the CEO lives right in here in your prefrontal cortex. So this is why it's so.
White tomatoes, though.
Why tomatoes? I'm not sure why tomatoes. He had a sensitivity. So sometimes our guts are not able to digest certain things, and it does have to do with our microbiome. The strains in our microbiome are actually determined at birth. We're not able to add any new ones. What we do when we take probiotics is we're feeding the ones that are already there. So they're transient. Okay, they're helping what's already there be built up. And we need that. We need that to regulate our immune health. We need it to keep the bad bugs out. We need it to actually upkeep the digestive lining in our gut wall to prevent leaky gut, right? So there are certain things. Tomatoes are what we call a nightshade, and so there's a whole bunch of different ones. Eggplants are in there as well, peppers, that kind of thing. And I mean, somebody might be sensitive to tomatoes and not eggplants or peppers. So that's why, well, we call it an elimination diet, and I've been looking for a different name because it's a terrible name. But basically, you remove things from your menu, and I don't like to use the word diet, to be honest, because it has so much baggage behind it, right? Like you think diet, you're like, ugh.
You feel like it's dieting, it's to do with weight and
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I use the word menu with my clients, and okay, so what's on your menu this week, and you just start to look at it that way. Like, okay, if you go to a restaurant and order something, like, what do I want to order from? Like, what do I want to put on my plate, right? So yeah.
So what do you want to put on your body? And I wanted to talk a little bit because I'm a big believer in consumer of fermented foods. Can you share with us some foods that really support mental health, like real
Absolutely.
ones that we can start with, that even for people that are not used to implementing fermented food in their diets?
Totally. Yes.
Hello.
We got a little puppy here.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take a little sip.
Come here. Come on, you can come here. It's okay.
Okay, so 3 different categories of foods that I love and are most effective. One is your anti-inflammatory foods, right? So there are so many studies on turmeric.
Every day, daily for me.
And there was even a study where I think it was men. Unfortunately, most of the studies have been done on men, but that's starting to change. You take an eighth of a teaspoon, like a pinch of turmeric, put in some black pepper for that pepperin and activate things.
And then the oil to,
Yep. You just do that much. That much can actually change the way your body is expressing itself cellularly. It is amazing. Like, food really is medicine, as somebody said, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what they mean when they say that. So a lot of people don't like the taste of turmeric, but an eighth of a teaspoon is...
I put it in my smoothie every morning.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Too. I put my cayenne and a little MCT or olive oil, depending on the day.
Absolutely. If you're working out, this is a great thing to do too. If you're going for a run, or you go to the gym, or you do something like that, you come back and you can make an anti-inflammatory smoothie. Put some mango in there. It's high in vitamin C.
I had that this morning with some cranberry juice.
Yeah.
To get that pocket of air that the H. pylori make.
Yes.
It breaks right in there.
Yes.
To let the acid kill the bug.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you're on a specific protocol right now.
I am on a specific
You do take
protocol.
really good care of yourself.
I do, and still, my doctor said that it came probably from when I was a child.
Yep.
Because I got diagnosed with chronic gastritis at the age of 10.
So, and that is the thing. These infections, this is what I've learned over the last 3 years. These infections and bacteria can live inside of us for a long, long time. And then as we start to clear things, sometimes the body will actually protect itself by creating these biofilms and then housing the different toxins and whatnot in our body. That's why also when we start to lose fat, because fat cells are one way that the body, when it's overloaded, if the liver can't process everything that's coming through it, it goes, okay, I need to store this somewhere. I can't process it. It can't go into the blood. Here, fat cell, right? And so as you start to release these toxins, these infections can come up as well. This is like, I'm talking like old strep, staph, that kind of thing. Yeah. And so H. pylori is a big one.
No, you're gonna go lie down over there. Go. No, you're gonna go. Yeah.
And so, our body's always changing, right? It's so fascinating. Nothing's in stasis. And so what may be true, this month, a month from now, may be completely different, because really what we do really shifts. So other anti-inflammatory foods, like, that's just one thing that you can do every day, is to make sure you're getting these anti-inflammatory foods. Berries, huge, right? Especially the purple ones. They're called anthocyanins, which are antioxidants that help to scavenge all the free radicals in the body, which are creating damage,
Ooh, Kiss, we're going to talk about that actually, but Kiss is asking, what would be a good beginner detox you recommend for newbies?
Actually, yes, I will
we
go into that.
Yes, for sure.
Good question, though.
Very good question, 100%. We're definitely getting into that. But I wanted to ask you, for gamers...
I have other foods.
Oh, Oh yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah.
It has to do with foods too.
With that? Okay.
Yeah, so for gamers or streamers who sit long hours, snack a lot, and have irregular schedules, what should they be aware of, and what kind of little steps they could make sure to keep up with their gut health, and what, change their diets and introduce new foods that are easy and easily accessible for them?
Okay, well, I'll finish with the anti-inflammatory
Oh
foods and
yeah,
then the other
100%.
two categories. Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
because that's something that you can do actually. So rosemary is one of the things that you can add to your foods. It's hugely beneficial. I really think that the simple things are just underestimated because we think, oh, it can't. What can it do? Just putting a little rosemary and on in my soup or whatever every day. Like, really, is it really going to do that much? Yes, actually. I mean, it's been studied. Yeah,
Yes.
they're so powerful. Green tea, huge proponent of green tea. And I know you love your green tea
I
too.
do love my green tea, yes.
Olive oil. Olive oil is amazing. Not when you heat it over 400 degrees because then it becomes an oxidant. But olive oil is hugely beneficial for the body. I've already talked about cacao, but garlic and onions, because there's something I will talk about some of the fermented foods, but in order to actually feed those probiotics, you need prebiotic foods. So garlic and onions are great prebiotic foods, but they are also high in something called quercetin. And so if you've got hay fever or allergies right now, quercetin is one of those things that you want to get lots of. Yeah.
I take the supplement. Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's when it comes to fatigue, right? Like if you've got hay fever, it really does take it out of you. It really does. Yeah. So the other thing I love, and it's really easy. So if you are finding yourself getting stressed, then using adaptogenic herbs are beautiful. They're beautiful. They really are. There are many different adaptogens, and basically what they are is they help to regulate yourself back to a healthy baseline. So if you're too high, that adaptogenic herb is going to take you down to where you want to be, into a calm and functional state. If you are low, it's going to bring you up. Okay, so I have 3 that I love. And these have been around in Ayurvedic and traditional Chinese medicine for thousands of years. Like, think about that, thousands of years. I took a wonderful course from Teresa Boardwine, actually, on adaptogens. And so this is where some of that information comes from. Holy basil. This is one that I took a lot when I was finished with cancer treatment and just wanting to come back into myself. It's really good for the heart space as an energetic, but it helps to reduce cortisol levels. So cortisol is our stress hormone, right? Like when we need to run, cortisol kicks in, digestion stops, right? And so I love using it for that. It's also a great blood sugar balancer. So
holy basil.
Yeah, holy basil.
Nice.
You can get this in tincture or tea. Like I have loose tea that I make. It's a bit of a acquired taste, I would say, but you can get it in capsule form as well. It's really great. And it helps with focus and memory and things like that, which boosts our acetylcholine levels, which makes us really calm, and is an all-round great herb for people who suffer from anxiety because it's a natural anxiolytic, it's called. So yeah. And then my next one would be eleuthero, or Siberian ginseng, which is something that I took today actually, because it not only gives you a little bit of energy boost, but it also helps you to focus. So when you're looking for endurance, so if you're doing a live stream, say, for a long time, you want some eleuthero on your side because it's going to help you with resilience as well.
I love ginseng tea. I love the taste of it. But that's
Yes.
Siberian specifically.
Siberian ginseng. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'll just, this isn't, I'm not affiliated or anything like that, but I have this one here. It's St. Francis. It's a Canadian company and it's called Stressed. And it has a bunch of different ones. Ashwaganda's in there. Most people know about that one. But it definitely has the Eleuthero.
Are these easily accessible? Hoss is asking.
Easily accessible? Absolutely. You go to any of your health food store, online dispensaries. iHerb is a good one. I like to use iHerb.
I use iHerb a lot, yeah.
Yep, they should have it. And then reishi. There's our
reishi,
mushroom.
of course, the medicinal mushroom. And Techno Ninja was actually asking earlier if we were talking about psilocybin, but no, we were talking about medicinal mushrooms like ashwagandha, reishi, lion's mane, and other kinds of.
Ashwaganda's a root.
Oh, a root.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
And Cybersex is asking, can you tell us the difference between Siberian ginseng versus regular ginseng?
Yeah, it's a different plant. Has different properties. I don't have the exact herbal description with me today. I have a library of books, and I couldn't bring all of my books with me. Do you remember books? Those are the things we used to read. I have a lot of books on herbs. But yeah, American ginseng is, gosh, yeah, I would have to look it up again as to the specific beneficial properties. It's a lot of times it is used by Ayurvedic practitioners on men for some reason instead of women. I'm not sure why that is, but this is something that I picked up from that course that I took that I was talking about.
Kiki Sweet is asking, how does one use it, like the ginseng? Do you make it into a tea, right, mostly? Or tincture?
Well, I use it in tincture form. So this is what is called a tincture. It's extracted into alcohol, and you put a couple of drops in water. And normally, what you would do for optimal absorption, you put it underneath your tongue, and so it goes straight into the bloodstream, and then you can swallow it. And then if we talk about reishi, because again, it's another heart. I'm big on all of the heart opener herbs. Reishi, of course, is a mushroom. I talked about tulsi as being good heart one, but reishi is something. It's known as the mushroom of immortality in traditional Chinese medicine, and it's something that I've taken for the last 10 years, almost daily. I do think it's good to cycle on and off things, and you really need to listen to your body. But do listen to that internal sense. You know, if you get if I'm talking about, for instance, Eleuthero, and your body says, "Oh, I'm interested in that." Pay attention, right? Because this is our intuition. It's our inner guidance and wisdom talking. We all resonate at a frequency, as do herbs. So you will resonate with certain herbs more than, say, the next person sitting next to you. Like you may not, like I offered you some Eleuthero, and you're like, no, that's not your thing.
Not today.
Yeah, which is fine, right?
Totally so one thing that I noticed myself, okay, is that because these things are not for everybody. For example, ashwagandha, I feel like ashwagandha actually gives me anxiety. And it calms everybody down. But to me, it actually gives me anxiety.
And it's also a nightshade.
And I don't do well with tomatoes, so I don't eat tomatoes. I do because I love tomatoes.
Yeah.
I do suffer after, but I avoid them because it doesn't agree with my stomach.
I had a client once, actually, speaking of that. She definitely had a nightshade sensitivity that was causing inflammation and other things. And actually arthritis in the hands. And so when inflammation becomes systemic, this is what can happen. Yet she grew these beautiful tomatoes that summer. And she was so upset when I said, you probably want to try to cut tomatoes out of your menu. And she said, she just got really upset. And I said, wait, okay, hold on. We can wait until after tomato season is done, because the joy someone experiences from their food should really be, especially if it's a fresh tomato
Oh,
from
yes.
the garden, right? Should really not be discounted. Even if it's, a cookie, okay?
Mhm.
I tell people, don't eat that cookie with guilt. Eat it with consciousness. Say, yes,
Mhm.
I am choosing to eat this cookie,
Mhm.
but it's serving a purpose. And so the actual energy and frequency that you bring to your food
Mhm.
has a direct effect on our cells as well, and
Mhm.
how they vibrate
Oh, yes.
and work together. Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Um, Kiss is actually asking, this is random, but what do you think about the protein coffee trend?
Protein coffee.
I actually never heard of that.
Me neither. Oh, wow. Well, they'll come up with everything these days, so I'm not
Mhm.
surprised. But is it actual coffee and protein put together, I wonder? Because, yeah, there can be benefits to working out in a caffeinated state.
Mhm.
Um, Actually, funny story, I guess. I wasn't planning on sharing this, but I used to date a professional cyclist, and he taught me about the benefits of utilizing caffeine before going to the gym, because
Mhm.
it actually can burn, you know, off more energy and whatnot,
Mhm.
and give you more energy. I do not recommend that.
Mhm.
This is when I was quite young, and it didn't turn out well. Let's just put it that way.
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. But it was an experiment, and sometimes you do need to try things for yourself in order to, as long as you're doing it safely
Mhm.
and you're reading up on things, because like I said, you cannot discredit the nutrients that you're putting into your body, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
Um.
can I give you a bonus?
Mhm.
Lion's mane.
Lion's mane. Yes, for sure.
Mushroom. It's not an adaptogen, but lion's mane is hugely beneficial for the brain. It's an anti-anxiety and antidepressant, basically.
Mhm.
So if you're dealing with brain fog or low motivation or like a heavy feeling, this is your mushroom.
Mhm.
Um, it supports long-term cognitive health, like clarity and emotional resilience, and it repairs the nerves in the brain as well.
That's fantastic.
It's amazing. There's also something called nerve growth factor, which it helps to grow, like helps to proliferate, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it protects brain cells. So, yeah, it's a really
So,
really great one.
yeah. So, what's like uh, one little step that chat here could make to be sure to keep up with their gut health? Just one small step.
I would say you already said fermented
Mhm.
foods daily.
Mhm.
There have been studies that with either a probiotic or fermented foods, that it will actually significantly decrease the severity of depression.
Mhm.
And there's so many people with depression out there. I have to say, when it came upon me, I love that Irish term. I they don't say I'm depressed. They say depression is upon me. So
Mhm.
you're not identifying with this,
Mhm.
Like you're not, every time you say I am, you're claiming this,
Yep, I say that a lot.
right?
You have to watch out what you say after you say I am.
Absolutely.
What follows that.
Yes.
Just
Our
always be
words
aware. Yeah.
have real weight. That's why they call it spelling, right?
Mhm.
And so when you say depression is upon me, it kind of, okay, so this is something that's temporary. This too shall pass.
Mhm.
And when I went through a period of time when, I'd wake up and I'd have this just feeling of dread,
Mhm.
and it was really, really hard to get out of bed. Really hard.
Mhm.
So if you're feeling that way, the one thing that I did, it's got to be quick, right? It's got to be quick and easy. And that is first awareness, always awareness that this is happening to me, not to me, also for me. So
Mhm.
there's that
Mhm.
shift, but then shifting into gratitude. So it's that awareness and then shifting, okay, what can I be grateful for right now? And it can be as simple as this comfortable bed that is holding me, and then thinking, okay, and then taking some breaths, right? This is how we reset our nervous system. If our nervous system is dysregulated, our brain is dysregulated. And so breath work is the quickest and easiest way. This is why I love yoga as a system, you know?
Yes.
It's got pranayama, it's got meditation, and then it's got the movement, right? Yeah. So that would be one thing. So the probiotics, and I would say proper hydration. This is something that people underestimate, like hugely, huge. Our brain requires a lot of hydration. And when we're dehydrated, it creates stress. And when we're stressed, it creates dehydration. And then dehydration to stress, stress to, it's a whole loop.
Yeah.
And really, the signaling that our brain has between hunger and thirst is so close that it can't actually differentiate. So what we normally do when we're low on energy is we reach for food because we think, okay, fuel, right?
Yes.
You may just be dehydrated. There's a wonderful book called Your Body's Many Cries for Water. And it's an amazing little book on just how hydration really affects all the systems in our body, including our mental health and our brain.
Sometimes we confuse that with hunger, but we're just thirsty.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you reach for a cup of water and that hunger is gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, a lot of people ask me, well, what type of water, Barbara? And I was working with a homeopath when I finished treatment 10 years ago. And she told me, no more tap water for you. And I was like, okay. I thought she was a little bit like, why? But ever since then, I did invest in a Berkey water filter. I would say the bare minimum is a carbon-based filter, like a Brita or something like that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't remove all of what we are taking into the body. This just means our body has to process more. This is something we call an anti-nutrient. It's a toxin. It's taking away from the body.
Yes.
And so, again, going back to detoxification and things like that, we definitely do need to be hydrating with filtered water. And then, of course, if you want to level up, you can go to hydrogen water or structured water. There's different ways to do
the
that.
whole umbrella.
Yeah, hydrogen water really helped me in the last 3 years get my energy back. I'm really, really a proponent of hydrogen water. You can get it in tablets. And so you just put the tablet in your water, and then you have to drink it fairly quickly because it dissipates. Or you can get one of the hydrogen water bottles, which is,
Kiss is asking, she would love a great water filter recommendation. Kiss.
Berkey. I would say get a Berkey.
Berkey is great.
Berkey.
It's on Amazon. It's like they have it on Amazon as well. Berkey.
Really? I didn't realize that.
They do.
Oh, cool.
So it's easily accessible.
Okay.
Yeah, there's different sizes too. I would love to invest in one of those at some point. Yeah, CyberSussy knows Berkey filters. Yes.
Nice. Yes. I mean, it's an investment, but they last. I think the filters last for like 10 years or something. You need to like clean and prime them every now and then, but yeah, and they're portable too, which is what I like,
Yep.
Yeah.
I love the filters from Brazil, and one day I want to take it when I have more space in my suitcase, because they're actual clay. It's kind of like a Berkey, but it's clay instead of metal.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
I would like one of. That's why I haven't invested on a Berkey, because I want to bring one of those.
Nice.
At some point. So can we shift to
Can
stress?
I say something?
Yeah.
One
go
more
ahead,
thing
please.
about water. Because when we're
go.
thinking about hydration, we also need to think about the gut. Okay, we need water for our saliva, for our stomach acid, for our mucus lining in the small intestine, which is a barrier that keeps the bacteria from entering the bloodstream. So these are all things that we don't think about, right? Like it's once you start to actually go, oh yeah, it kind of makes sense, and it's just really bringing that awareness.
Yes.
Yeah. So having a water bottle handy, like if you sit a lot, like at my desk job, I'd always have a water bottle there.
Same.
And drink. Of course, you have to go to the bathroom a lot, but
Oh yeah, but that's part of,
part of
eliminating all the
it.
toxins from your body.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do you mind if we shift into stress in the nervous system and the body?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I feel like stress lives in the body more than we think, right? And it's very
Yeah.
relatable to the gut. Can you, oops, Flawless, thank you for giving Satoki a sub. Appreciate it very much. So can you explain how the nervous system and digestion are connected in a simple way that people can understand?
For sure. Yeah. Okay. So we have something called our autonomic nervous system. It's an umbrella that houses the sympathetic, the parasympathetic, and the enteric nervous system. Okay? So the sympathetic is what you're probably used to hearing about, the fight or flight. And then there's the parasympathetic, where our vagus nerve actually lives. And that activates the rest and digest, rest and digest mode in our body. And then the enteric nervous system lives in our entire digestive tube, from the mouth all the way down to the end. Yeah. Okay.
All connected.
Yes. So, and the enteric nervous system is influenced by the fight or flight, but it's not directly. It's adjacent, I would say. So basically, stress can affect how we digest or not. And so when we are in that sympathetic state of fight or flight, right? Running from the tiger, that's the usual thing. That means all of our blood is being shunted to our extremities. So we're no longer digesting. The blood from our brain is now in the back because we're on high alert, right?
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
Which makes us jump a big fence when we have to.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which, if we have to do that, great.
It's
but
amazing
if we're
what it
just
does.
stuck in traffic,
Yes.
or we're, late for something, and we're
Or dealing with a difficult person.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So we stay on that loop of stress, and it's really bad for the body. It does crazy things.
And
right?
that's where the high cortisol comes in, right? So the adrenaline and the high cortisol, which then affects insulin. So insulin's a hormone, cortisol's a hormone, our neurotransmitters like serotonin and whatnot, hormones, all hormones. So when our stress is high, then our blood sugars rise. Because why? Because we need to run. So the liver actually goes, okay, we need to take this stored glucose, push it into the blood so that it can be used for energy. And then our insulin, which is our I kind of like to say it's like the bouncers of the cells. It kind of goes, yes, you can come in. Glucose, here you go. And so, so when we stay in that stress state, our insulin stays high, right? And then insulin kind of gets bored. And that's what insulin resistance is. It's like, talk to the hand.
Can you explain a little bit more about the insulin and how it works, and how do you actually get to the point where you have insulin resistance?
Absolutely.
With food and stress and the levels?
Yes.
Can you explain us a little bit about that in a way that everyone can understand?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So when we eat, there's a rate at which our body digests, right? We have 3 what are called macronutrients. We all know them. There's sugar or carbs, which is glucose.
Yes.
Our protein or amino acids, and our fats or lipids, right? And so when these 3 are actually on our plate, it balances things.
Yes.
Now, when we have too much of something, like our high glucose, basically blood sugar spiking foods, that's when we get that, okay, we got energy, right? We're going to go have that cup of coffee at 3 p.m. This is something that I used to do all the time at one of the game studios that I used to work at. We always had this crash around 3:30. And there's a reason for that, actually. It's also the reason why you're probably waking up at 3:30. But yeah, basically you go and you get some caffeine. So caffeine actually raises the cortisol, which raises your blood sugar and your insulin. And so this constant up and down and up and down, then you're not coming back down as much, right? You're not coming back to baseline, basically. So you start to actually live up here. And so that increasingly high. So this is your high cortisol as well, which is affecting your mental health, right? It's affecting everything. So it's basically, again, just an imbalance. And in order to get that back into balance, I mean, to have sustainable energy.
Thank you so much, Flawless, for the gifted sub to Joss and Santoki. Thank you. And oh, for Kiss too. Thank you so much. Sorry.
That's okay.
Chat is far away.
Yeah. I can't read that, so. Yeah, so if you want to say eat something that, do you want to regulate your blood sugar? An easy way to do that is to say have like an apple or something, and then pair it with some nuts, because it has fat and it has protein. You know, so you want to combine foods. Fat actually slows the release of sugar into the blood. So if you pair it with that, that's a really, really easy one to do as well.
Yeah, that seems pretty good. Yeah, balanced of carbs, protein, and fat, 100%. Yeah, so if someone feels stuck in that constant stress loop, where do they even start?
Again, awareness, right? It's like, what is happening? A really great one that I used to do for myself is to get used to asking myself throughout the day, where's my breath?
Very big one.
Your breath will tell you where you're at with your nervous system regulation or your stress response. And it's a great bridge. This is what I teach in my yoga classes. The breath is the bridge that connects the mind to the body. We are oftentimes just running around in our lives, you know, being directed by the brain, go here, go there, and just, you know, demanding things from the body, and instead of letting the body lead. And this is the number one thing that I learned from going through all the cancer treatment and whatnot. Afterward, I actually worked with a psychologist, a cancer recovery psychologist, and he used to work with Olympic athletes and things like that too. High performers who wanted to get back into life up here, right? Jump up here. But you have to really train yourself to think, what is my body wanting from me right now? Not what does my mind want? The mind, gosh, it can make so much noise, you know? And so just, again, practicing that awareness, because our brain is a muscle. It needs, you know, constant repetition. It needs to be worked out, right?
100%. Some people don't think that way about the brain.
No. And so using that breath. And then again, going to Andrew Huberman, one of his very first podcasts, I believe he shared the double inhale, exhale breath, you know?
I do that a lot. Even before I knew about that, I noticed that
Really?
I noticed that I just
intuitively, exactly. And you know, kids when they're crying. Yes, exactly. Yeah, the body's so smart, right?
Yes, 100% is. So just a reminder to chat right now. So let's just unclench your jaws. Let's like loosen up the jaws, drop your shoulders a bit and relax. Just it's a good start to, you know, get in the habit of doing that when you feel like you're tense, and just be aware of that. So just try to do that right now a little bit, and I think that will bring a lot of benefits.
That's true. Yeah. Even if you sit for a minute, and like you're saying, the a very common cue in yoga is drop your shoulders from your ears. You know, squeeze the shoulder blades together and back. It really does, your posture really does affect, because our nervous system runs right along the spine, right?
Yes,
and so I can
vagus, I don't know my accent.
The vagus nerve.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. It runs all through, so it's connected throughout. But if you don't have a good chiropractor, I highly recommend making friends with one, because that is also something that I've picked up on in the last few years and has really benefited me.
Stacey is amazing.
Yes.
She's your chiropractor too, right?
Yes, she is.
She's amazing.
Yes.
She was actually the chiropractor for the Olympic, the Canadian Olympic team.
I know.
She's fantastic.
She's wonderful.
She really is.
Yes.
Yeah, so I feel like we're always treating symptoms but not asking why. Do you think people are overcomplicating wellness or just missing the basics?
Yeah, I think we really do underestimate, like I was saying before, we really do underestimate the simple things. You know, a cup of tea, having a cup of tea. You can biostack by having some rooibos, which is full of antioxidants, and it's herbal, so you're hydrating. So I love to biostack like that. I'll get up in the morning and I'll do my morning meditation and have my feet on my grounding mat. Things like that. I really like to optimize. I really, and so you don't have to do it all at once either.
Small baby steps.
Yeah, just one thing. Pick one thing, do it for a week, see what happens.
Do you remember I was telling about Ali with the Yoga Nidra? Yoga Nidra, Ali on YouTube.
Oh, yes,
Techno
yes.
Ninja, he knows Ali and he does Yoga Nidra almost daily. Yes.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga Nidra is so
You gotta
powerful.
try Ali.
I will.
If you YouTube, by the way, I'm not sponsored by her or anything like that, but she's fantastic. Yoga Nidra, Ali. If you YouTube that, it's very beneficial.
You'll have
you
to
gotta try it.
remind me
Yeah,
again,
I'll send you a link. She's fantastic.
I have somebody that I like from Australia.
Max, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Max, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for donating 5 gifted subs to the community. Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you, Max. Thank you. W Max. W everybody. Thank you so much for being here again, guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate it so much. So I want to talk about practical real life tools, okay? Let's make it doable, not overwhelming for Chad.
What about movement though?
Movement? Yes, movement is a big part, right?
Yes.
Can you please talk about a little bit movement, how that...
Absolutely.
About the unclenching the jaw and moving your body. And,
yeah. Well, actually, there is something that I learned from a voiceover coach. I took a voiceover course back when I was living in Seattle. And before we went on to like perform in front of everybody, basically, he gave us a little tool and he said, just shake your body out, I don't know. I've seen little kids in their classes and the teacher will say, shake your sillies out,
Yes, it's a good thing, actually.
Yes,
it's
and you
really
being a parent, I'm
and
sure.
even just like doing this with your body and going around, and it's really good.
Absolutely.
Simple movements. It doesn't have to be anything overcomplicated, right?
No, and the science behind that is actually written about in a book called Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. If you watch a zebra in the wild and it's being chased by a lion, right? This is the fight or flight we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And then the lion sort of says, I don't know, squirrel, maybe not a squirrel, but maybe there's a bigger zebra that he wants to go after. And he goes, then the zebra just goes back to grazing on grass and shakes their body. So they shake off the stress and then they go back about their daily life.
Just like a bunny or a rabbit when they get chased by something.
Yeah.
And then they, thank you, Grandmaster Ong, for 1,000 bits. I remember I won that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bunnies, when they get chased and then they get that, they get their adrenaline, but as soon as it's over, they calm right down and go back into,
I was out walking this morning. There's bunnies all around my place. And, I could tell this one, the ears went up and just looking at me and da-da-da. And then I walked by and then it's like, oh yeah, she's not a threat kind of thing.
Yes.
So, yeah.
For sure.
So, I mean, the movement part is huge for me. For mental health, it means, we are creating endorphins, they're called. And endorphins are natural hormones produced in the brain. They are pain relievers. They improve mood. And they're released when we do activities like exercises and laughter, when we laugh.
Yes.
And when we're eating, actually. And they help with reducing stress. Hello.
You.
And enhancing feelings of well-being. There's a fascinating book, if any of you are readers, called The Joy of Movement, written by a PhD. Her name is Kelly McGonigal. And it goes into even the Hadza tribes and things like that. You know, shamanic healers, if you go to a shamanic healer in a community, one of the first things they will ask you is, when was the last time you danced?
Oh.
And that's why I just love teaching dance fitness. Like, it's my joy and my passion. You know, part of it is because I get to see all the smiles on people's faces when they're doing it, right? And so, yeah, it just it's so powerful. So
Dave, thank you for the
powerful.
100 bits. Oh, we have a hype train going. Thank you, guys.
What's a hype train?
A hype train is when someone gives you a certain amount of bits or subs, then the hype train level goes up, and whoever is gifting, they get a little special emote depending on the level of the hype train. Now, there's different emotes in different levels.
Choo choo.
Choo choo. 100%. So, I just want to remind that we are 1 hour and 26 minutes now. You have to go somewhere after.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
time flies.
Time definitely flew. Oh my goodness. Okay. So let's go into some practical tools.
So what are some realistic changes streamers, gamers, and people can make without completely changing their lifestyle?
Okay. Well, I think the hydration one, really, just to highlight that, is huge. I would say, so after we're done with our sleep, that means we have been fasted, right? That's why it's called break fast. Yeah. We're also dehydrated. So starting your day with, say, 16 to 20 ounces of water, warm water, or room temperature is best. Why is that? Because cold water shuts down the parietal cells of the stomach, which means no stomach acid. Okay. Bonus points if you squeeze half a lemon into it, because A, you're getting vitamin C, and you're also telling your body, hey, it's time to wake up. You know, your digestive juices are going to be flowing, tells your liver, hey, we need to make some bile soon, all that kind of stuff. And an easy way you can actually calculate how much hydration you need in the day
Paulus, thank you. I'm sorry.
is to take your body weight, divide it by 2. And that's the minimum amount of ounces that you need to have during
Your body
the
weight
day.
divided by 2. Okay.
Yes. If you have a cup of coffee, you have to add 2 cups onto that because it's a diuretic, right? So, yeah. So that's an easy way to do that. And of course, you know, you can also add frequency to your water. This has been proven. Dr. Emoto in Japan, he wrote a book called The Hidden Messages of Water. And he actually documented the structure of water after playing it certain music and after talking to it. Yes. So you can just place your hand over your water and just send it. Like, this may seem a little woo to some people.
I know.
It may, but it honestly, it works. And you know, what have you got to lose? Just say, this is going to hydrate me and be the best for my cells, and I'm going to have the best day, and just, you know, positive energy and positive moods, and then drink it.
I know the people that do that to their meat, actually, because industrialized meats, there's a lot of like stress that goes into the whole processing of the meat. I know a lot of people that do plaster food, their meat before they.
Well, your whole plate, you can do that as well. Okay. And I mean, we have lots of prana points in our hands. This is where the most energy is actually generated, our hands and our feet. And that's why hands-on healing, Reiki, is so powerful, because this is how the energy is passed through. Reiki means passing through. Yeah. So it's very, very powerful. Another thing that's going to that, set your frequency. The easiest way to do that is to think of gratitude. There's so many studies on it, of how beneficial gratitude can be. And I want to give everybody, music's such a big part of my life. One of the songs I love to play in the morning is called Grateful by Saint Finnegan. Finnik. Did I get that right? Finnekin. Yeah,
Finnegan.
Finnikin. Wonderful song.
I have a grateful journal that I keep on the side of my gaming chair every morning. When I sit at my desk, that's the first thing I do. I write 2 pages of my grateful. It's a little
That's-
journal, but
yeah.
it makes I find that it makes a huge difference in my daily life when I journal my gratefulness. And
Absolutely.
you have to be grateful. And I do play a grateful day video. It's a six-minute little video about being grateful about so many things that we take for granted every day. And
Nice.
that's usually, I play that a lot here. Everybody
Yeah.
loves it. It's very nice. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, you know, because we all have something to be grateful for. This is the thing, right? And I mean, when you start your day like that, it creates momentum. And so that's what I would say, is to find that one thing that you can start your day with that will create that positive momentum. I certainly notice it when I don't. And I love that journaling, because when I was really, really low, like my moods were so low, one of the things that got me through was actually called the 5-minute journal. I can't remember the company that makes it, but it's a system that they have created, and you come up with your 3 things that you're grateful for, and they can be the same thing as yesterday. There's no rules, right?
Yes.
And then, you know, what one thing can I do today that I'd like to do, you know, that will benefit me, move me forward? And then an I am statement.
I am statement, very important.
Yeah.
We
But more than just like the head, because it's one thing to actually think, I am a happy person, and
Just
really to embody that. Yeah, to get that feeling. And again, emotions are energy in motion. It's a frequency. You need to tap into the frequency. Yeah.
So Santoki has a question here for you.
Yeah.
You said to add water for coffee. Herbal is fine, but what about green tea?
So green tea has about a third of the caffeine as a cup of coffee. You can get decaffeinated green tea, I believe now, but it does still have some diuretic effects. You know, I try not to do any caffeine in the afternoon past, say, 3. 2 is like ideal, right? Depending on when you're going to bed too. Um, but yeah, you definitely want to be hydrating. Like if you had 1 cup of green tea, I'd say have 1 cup of herbal then to 1 cup of green. Yeah, something like that, the ratio. Yeah. And I mean, with sleep, talking about the caffeine to sleep, another easy thing to do is to actually, and it's maybe not easy for everybody, but you can work towards it, and that is giving your body a break from digesting so that it can do the healing overnight while you're sleeping. We have something called the glymphatic system that works in the brain. It's part of our lymphatic system. Our lymphatic system is like the trash collectors of our body. It helps to shuttle toxins out. And so our brain actually shrinks in order for that cerebral spinal fluid to come up and wash it and wash the toxins away. The lymphatic system is doing this. I think it's around 4 to 5 in the morning if you're in that particular state of sleep. And so in order for that to happen, you want to stop eating 3 hours before bed, right? Because you need your energy to be detoxifying and recovering. So that's a huge one. Yeah.
I agree. Yes, I don't eat past 5. That's my rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. Dinner 5, done. Over. Sometimes earlier too. I like
See,
it earlier.
and that's perfect. Like, it's these cues that give our body, like, if you set your day with specific things, one of the things can be meditation. And I am a huge proponent of mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness is simply the act of observing. You know, you're just sitting there going, oh yeah, there's that thought. Oh, I kind of feel some joy bubbling up from somewhere. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the sun's shining on my face, or you know, or just thinking and feeling and just noticing sensations. And that is something that builds resilience to deal with our day to day, right?
Yes.
And when we wake up, we're in this brain state that's ideal for it. I do have a free link for people for a 30-day trial of the app that I've been using for the last 2 years. And that it's called Waking Up. And
So
so
you got the link. You can share with chat. And also Techno Ginger has a question for you.
oh yeah.
Regarding fasting and letting your body going into autophagy, what's your opinion on that and how beneficial it can be for your body in order for your body to heal and repair cells?
So, okay, so I need to hear the beginning of that before.
Okay, regarding fasting and letting your body going into autophagy.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that and how beneficial it can be for your body in order for your body to heal and repair?
It's essential. It's essential. It's necessary. It is one of the most studied things for actually cancer prevention too. So our cells are constantly renewing themselves, hopefully, right? And so when things are, that's what autophagy means. Autophagy means the breakdown of the cell, like it's run its course. Every 7 years, we are a brand new person. Every cell in our body has been replaced. So this is constantly happening. The gut lining takes 24 hours. Those cells in your gut lining, which by the way are 1 cell thick, take 24 hours to turn over. That's why it's so important to give it the nutrients that it needs, because without that, we get leaky gut. And when we have leaky gut, we have leaky brain. That's a new term, but yeah.
Yes, very interesting. Yeah, autophagy is very interesting. I don't know if you guys know, there's this lady that she wrote the book Fast Like a Girl.
Yes.
Yes, fantastic book. Yeah, I forgot her name.
I can see her face. Yeah.
Yes,
yep.
she's fantastic. How she explained how the autophagy happens and how just even if you do 13 hours a day fast, how it makes a huge difference in your life.
Yeah.
But then if you extend and you do prolonged fast, how your cells just go and they replace it. You're recycling them.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're allowing your body to do that.
So I will say there is a caveat there, because not everybody is built for, say, a 3-day water fast or 72 hour, that kind of thing. The way to start is to start with 12 hours overnight and then go up incrementally and figure out what your body likes, right? The most benefits have and studies have been done on 16 hours. I know that my body thrives at about 14, 15. Because I've done the tests, right? And sometimes I'll shift it. Like right now, I'm actually shifting to more protein in the morning because I'm starting to move my body more. I'm starting to get my own health and wellness and my strength back, right? So it definitely is bio-individual. And that kind of goes into the Ayurvedic constitutions. You know, someone who, like myself, has high vata may be prone to anxiety. And so extra stressors as well will start to poke that. So when we're fasting, that's a stressor on the body, just like cold therapy, right? Cold plunging. I wouldn't recommend it for if your vata is very high. And so we don't have time to go into Ayurveda today, but it is basically your constitution. And so just being really aware of what feels good in your own body and trusting our bodies is so important too. Yeah.
We know our body more than anybody else knows our body, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. And I think that the more you spend time alone, that helps also you understand about your body.
Totally.
Yes.
So prioritizing sleep is really beneficial for that autophagy. Yeah. And that means getting morning sunlight.
Yes,
right?
that's the first thing I do.
Yeah.
Unless it's raining outside, but if it's not raining, I'll go outside in my bare foot and I'll face my face into the sun. I'll face the sun.
Nice.
Put my bare foot in the grass or the snow. I do that.
Yeah. Okay.
And I ground.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how the energy from the earth going right into your feet, because we wear rubber shoes all the time and we don't allow that anymore. And the microbes from the ground are actually good for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and a really great thing, you've got salt lamps back here as well, which have negative ions,
yes,
right?
It's good for allergies and so many other things.
Really good, really good. Waterfalls and ocean also have them.
Even when you're pouring a water, if you lift up your filter a little bit and let those bubbles happen, it releases negative ion right in your water that you're drinking.
You're making me think of a time when I was in Thailand. That's how they pour the coffee there. Yeah. Oh, so
nice.
good. Yeah.
So I know I know we're pretty short here on time, but Cyber Sassy and Kiss were asking.
Yeah.
Cyber Sassy was asking you to elaborate a little bit more on the brain, the leaky brain, and Kiss by Bullet was asking a little bit of leaky gut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have in our small intestine, in the wall of our small intestine, these what are called gap junctions, right? Have you ever seen one of those furry mats or bath mats, and they have the big kind of soft nubs that come up?
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what our the length of our small intestine or the wall of our small intestine looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, this is where all of our nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream, right?
Right
If
there.
you were to take the surface area of our small intestine and flatten it out, it would cover a tennis court.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is how much like is curled up in there.
Mm-hmm.
So when we are digesting food, there's something called zonulin that opens up the gap junctions and allows the food to come through into the bloodstream. Now, if we have anything that irritates that gut lining, it's going to break down the efficiency of the tight junctions, and they're not going to be so tight.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means bacteria, toxins, undigested food particles, anything that may not supposed to be in there, as well as what is supposed to be in there, will get into the bloodstream. And once it gets into the bloodstream, it goes everywhere.
Autoimmune disorders, anxiety, all kinds of things, yes.
And up into the brain. So when
Mhm.
we're talking about leaky brain, we're talking about that blood-brain barrier, which is, you know, a barrier to some extent, but it depends on how small the particles are. And this is why aromatherapy is so beneficial. This is another really simple one that people can do, is use aromatherapy. I think sometimes, again, it seems so simple, but there are so many therapeutic benefits from using olfactory or our nose that's connected into the brain. And it actually passes that blood-brain barrier, helping it. A lot of research on this as well. So yeah, so basically you want to, in order to prevent leaky brain, you want to keep your gap junctions tight, and there are ways to do that, including fermented foods, but also the prebiotics, right, that we were talking about.
Yes.
It's essential. And then amino acids. I love bone broth for that.
Yes, I love bone broth. I'm always making bone broth.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask one last question.
Well,
unless you have like,
I just wanted to say, have you guys seen those people out there wearing these?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. Have you tried them?
I don't have those specifically, but I have blue light glasses.
Okay.
They're not, but I heard those are really good. Yeah.
These, I was really skeptical. And I don't ever recommend anything to my clients or people or anything like that unless I have thoroughly tested it. Like, I'm very rigorous. I've been wearing these for over a year now. And the reason I was doing so is because I, like everybody else, am addicted to my phone.
Yes.
Okay. And I know from Andrew Huberman that if you even glance at your phone, it resets that circadian rhythm in your brain and disrupts your sleep, which means autophagy is not happening and you're not detoxing and recovering. So I keep these by my bed. I put them on at 9 o'clock. Even if I have my lights on, I'll put them on at 9 o'clock. I immediately, when I started using these, I'm not talking it took me days, I immediately felt my body go, oh. They were amazing. Amazing.
Awesome.
And the company is really amazing. I don't know why. I realized actually when I was preparing for our talk, I use a lot of resources from Australia.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure why. I used to live in New Zealand, but I don't think that has anything to do with it. These guys, they're called Swanwick or Swannies. And I have a 10% off coupon. If you go to their website, you can put in LBW and you can get 10% off. That's just if you want a little bonus.
Yes.
And try them out.
And LBW is Live Bright Wellness.
Live Bright Wellness.
Which
yes.
is
it's my
Barbara's
company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's my wellness company. And so for nervous system regulation and for brain health and for bringing you down at night, this is one of the cues that you can use in your body. And, you know, if you see people wearing them out there and you think it's a fad, they actually work. Now you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, what mindset shifts really make a big difference long term? Just the small ones,
Yeah.
easy ones for our chat here. Much love, Ultima, for our chat here to know.
Find something to laugh about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, laughter cannot be underestimated. It is, yeah, just laugh. Find things to I sometimes I just hunt out different things to laugh at. I don't ever recommend somebody look at something, you know, like a
Mm-hmm.
YouTube or a comment, because we all have our own sense, and it's very cultural.
Mm-hmm.
I used to date a British guy actually, and his sense of humor was so different to mine. I used to find it funny just watching him laugh though, so it worked. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I
Yes.
would, you know, laugh
Mm-hmm.
at him laughing because he was finding joy and I was finding joy that he was finding joy, so it was all good.
Absolutely.
But yeah, laughing, moving your body, like, even so you're playing a game, and for every, say, oh, I guess it depends on the game though. I
It
was going
does.
to say for every point, no. So for every level, maybe you get up and you do a celebration. We don't celebrate enough in life,
Mm-hmm.
you know? If you get up in the morning and you make your bed, celebrate it. Do a little dance, do a little happy, you know, like, you know, I don't know if you've ever played Halo. I worked on Halo 4. And so, you know, Master Chief, when he
Mm-hmm.
dances there, you know,
Yes.
do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Use the small things, and connection with yourself and with other people. We don't have enough of that right now. I know, you know,
Mm-hmm.
there's amazing things that we can do online for community now,
Yes.
right? And this is one of those examples. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is beautiful what you've
Mm-hmm.
created here. When I heard
Thank
you
you.
were doing this, I was like, yes, I want to be a part of that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that's why you have all kinds of people dropping in here in your community, because they want to be a part of something like this, and we need it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as humans, we are built for connection. And
Mm-hmm.
so seeking that out, actively seeking that out, because it just doesn't happen automatically anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Techno Ninja, for gifting Ultima sub. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. My camera's all messed up.
Oh, okay.
It's funny because we set it up right before.
I know.
That's
Oh well.
all right. So
One more thing.
yes.
If you have access to red light therapy,
Mm-hmm.
I would do it. Really, really, really. There are some really great benefits, mostly overall mitochondrial health. So the mitochondria are the powerhouses in our cells. They are what create the energy for us. And they also, the red light, near and far infrared, we're talking infrared light here,
Mm-hmm.
they help to create BDNF, which is brain derived neurotropic factor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This actually protects our brain cells.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have access to like a red light mat or a red light bed, even if you're in Nanaimo here, you can come to the clinic where I'm at, where Stacy's at. It's
Mm-hmm.
Woodgrove
Mm-hmm.
Pines.
Yep.
And you can try out the new arc bed that we have.
Ooh.
Yes, it's
Nice.
pretty fancy.
I have to go back there again. I haven't seen Stacy in a while.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Now you have a reason.
I do. Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Roy Joy is telling me to hydrate here.
There you go. Oh yeah.
Cheers. Thank you, Roy Joy, for the hydrate, and thank you for being radiant and amazing the way you are, bringing joy to so many people all the time. Appreciate that.
Aw.
Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody, for being here, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the biggest takeaway here is that your body isn't working against you, it's trying to communicate with you. And sometimes we just haven't been taught how to listen to it yet, right? So small steps, real awareness, and giving yourself the grace along the way is very important, right?
I would agree. Exactly that. Yeah. Remember,
Yes.
you have a choice. Choose one thing and experiment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, set your frequency at the beginning of the day, shift into gratitude, give thanks, maybe do a little dance.
100%.
Use music, use all the tools that really light you up, like really light you up, not just kind of, but like really, like lean into them and make that extra effort because it will pay off. Just, consistency. My yoga mentor says, I'd rather you meditate for 5 minutes every day than 30 minutes once a week. And
Yeah, 100%.
yeah,
That makes
it's
sense.
all
Even
about
if you're in the shower,
yeah, yeah.
letting it all wash away,
You
go
can
down the
hum,
drains, yeah.
and activate your vagus nerve, do some vagal toning, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Fantastic.
really important. So I hope everybody took some things away from this
Yes.
and has some action items and really appreciates your gut, and you'll think about your gut when you're thinking about your brain and vice versa.
Yes.
Yeah, and just blessings to everybody. Peace and energetic love.
Thank you so much, Barbara.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you for taking the time and making the room to come and help us understand a few things better, that I think all of us can take at least one thing from all this information. It's a lot, but
It is a lot.
small steps go a long way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Keep on dancing.
Keep
All
on
right.
dancing. You saw her dancing on the video. Dancing is important. Dancing is awesome. Barbara's awesome. That's right, Oz. I agree.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm gonna give Barbara a big hug and say goodbye. So you have an appointment to go.
Yes, I have an appointment I have to run off to. Yeah.
And I'll put a little word on stream for you guys to play for a bit, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna reset my room, and then we're gonna have some community time. So stick around for that. We're gonna celebrate some of my affiliate anniversary today.
Bye for now. Thank you, everybody.